It is time now for Faith and Finance with Drew Blasek. Good morning, Drew.
Good morning. How's it going?
Doing great. How about you?
It's a little chilly outside, so it's a little...
First, I want to ask you, the government is shut down. What have we learned from this government shutdown?
I don't think it really affects too many people's lives.
That's kind of what I thought, too.
Some paychecks get affected.
They do. Okay.
But they will get the
paychecks
money
affected.
back. But most of us, we kind of freak out because we watch the news so much.
Yeah.
And it doesn't really affect us too much.
It's a small percentage of
Very small.
Government employees who are furloughed, right? I mean,
Yeah.
most of them
And they
are
will get
still
their
at
money.
work.
They
Yeah.
will get when it ever happens. I don't know how long it takes. Typically, not too long, but...
All right. Well, I'm distracting you from where you wanted to go this morning, but I wanted to ask you about that.
So, here's some interesting things. Remember we
Yeah.
talked about how President Trump signed the executive order about 401ks?
Yeah.
I kind of want to talk about it. There's some exciting stuff about that. And it
Well,
kind of goes
good.
into our Catholic principles is that currently, if you have a 401k with your employer, the problem with that is they only give you about 20 funds you could choose from.
Yeah.
And most of those funds do not have your Catholic principles like BlackRock, Vanguard, State Street. They don't really care about your Catholic principles, and it's like a global economy. And as Catholics in investments, we want to be subsidiarity. We want to do a local. We believe that local is the best instead of going global in that aspect. And what Trump did was he signed this executive order, and it orders the DOL, Department of Labor, and the SEC to make it easier for Americans to access alternative assets. But here's the problem. So people don't know this, but as the IRS have wrote the code, your employer could give you access to local investments, but because of liability and because they have to manage it, they just don't want to deal with it.
Right.
And there's so many restrictions. So what this does, it kind of eases that, but it's going to take 1 to 2 years for those departments to write a policy on it that could change. So it might take a while.
Right.
So what I came from different employers, and I have a rollover 401k, and there's a movement. You guys ever heard of New Polity?
No.
It's from Steubenville. It's kind of you can find them online.
Yeah.
I forgot what their names, but they talk about, and there's a movement with Catholics that say you need to take your money out of your rollover, and the problem with that, you get penalized.
Oh, yeah, right.
And then it puts you into a higher tax bracket that
Right.
year. But a lot of Catholics are doing that. They're taking their money out. And but it's a huge burden on taxation and penalty if you do that.
But what are they doing with their money when they pull it out? Well, I mean, what are they?
Well, a couple of
suggesting you
options
do?
are they try to pay off their house, they try to invest in local businesses, stuff like that, and there's a lot of
Take your money and put it to work in your local community.
Instead of putting it into a fund or a company you know nothing about, you want to examine that company. Are they doing? You're really a true investor,
Right.
Like true investors don't just put their money and just walk
Right.
away.
True.
But there's something called a SDIRA, and I'm looking more into it. And there are people, I don't know if there's local people that do it, but there are people that do it, that you can actually roll it over to a self-directed IRA.
Wow. Okay.
And what this does, this gives the ability that you can use your funds and you could purchase local assets. You could buy investment properties. You could purchase gold, silver with it.
Right.
I think this is huge. That means you don't get penalized, and all the taxes are pushed off until retirement.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Because if you're going to take money out of a 401k, if you transfer it to another one, you don't have that penalty. But how about a self-directed IRA? Would you still be penalized? Maybe
You will not get penalized. Now, this is how it works: is that if you put your money in a self-directed IRA, you can So let's say you bought a rental property. Or if you want to flip a house.
Yeah.
So instead of having that with, let's say, BlackRock, what you can do is you put your money, you purchase it, but all expenses have to flow through the IRA, and then all revenue has to go back into the IRA. You can't you can't say I'm making money, but you're protected. There's no taxes. Even if you flip the home, there's no capital gains up until retirement is when you pay the taxes.
And regarding just Catholic teaching, just going back to that, the idea that you shouldn't just be able to make money on your money. You have to be personally invested. There has to be a risk involved, and this idea that you get to invest in your local community, find those people that are ethical, living good lives, doing a good thing, and pour your resources into that.
And a few things that this is going to do is if you put your money into that and you purchase, say, an investment property or even a local business, you could buy a. Right. If there's a Catholic business for sale, you could use that self-directed to purchase it. And two things it does. It does one thing, it does work, because Catholic teaching is you want to labor to earn a profit, number one. And number two, it puts the money back into the local economy, and that's subsidiarity. It's always, instead of going global and all your money is going to other, it goes back to the community. And actually, there's a third thing. If you think about, if you have kids or even other family members, you get to do work with them. You could have them participate with the work instead of putting it into a fund and you're dying of an old age. And you say, hey, guess what? I got, I'm going to give you $2 million. And no, it's just paper at that point. Right. Instead, you can have your children participate to flip the home, to do the work, and they get to gain those skills. Right. It's so much more important. And then you bring families back together.
Yeah.
Right? Because you bring them together that they're actually working for something, working for a business.
Yeah, and obviously our economy changed dramatically when that used to be the norm, right? I mean, a family started a thing, they had a farm, they had a business, and then the next generation took it and built it and lived off of it and all that. And then obviously Industrial Revolution comes and that changes everything, and it does make it a bit more complicated.
And the founder of the 401k was in 1978, and he has mentioned that he regretted of what he did to some extent is because what it did, it destroyed the immediate family because now people don't want to be a burden to each other. The family does. So grandparents retire, they go to Florida, they move away from the family. Right. But back then is always you invested into the business, you invested into the local assets, and they lived together more. Yeah. And you built your house, and your grandparents stayed with you at your house rather than moving away. They didn't want to be a burden. And that's what the 401k does, right? It kind of separates the family. It breaks it away because now we can have millions of dollars and not even look at it. You have no clue where your money's going to or towards. So Catholic principles and ethical considerations and bringing the family together, self-directed IRAs. And I'll say one thing. There are people in the country that do those. Yeah. And what it is, it's a flat fee they would charge. Some will charge based on transactions. I'm looking if there's any local ones, and I'm doing that research right now to see if there's any local ones. And I'm going to put my money where my, put my money right where my mouth is. Yeah. Is I'm going to try to roll over mine into that, and I want to purchase some local assets with it rather than owning stock.
Yeah, I just want to be clear. We're not encouraging people to put money in their mouth. It's nasty. Like, you don't know how many people have touched that, so don't put your money where your mouth is. I'm just saying. But yeah, you know how many people have touched that dollar bill? There you go. But no, look, we can align our Catholic faith even with modern ways of investing, right? With just a little bit of effort, with a little bit of study, and maybe a little bit of redirection of our resources.
Yeah, I think that's the way to go. And there's they say that a lot of these there's assets you could purchase actually perform better than the stock market. Yeah. And I mean, what you're doing with the stock market, the biggest, I think, misconception, you think you actually own the company. Yeah. You technically kind of do, but you have nothing to do with it. And if you buy a mutual fund, you pass over those voting rights of the company to that mutual fund, which is BlackRock State. They're the voting rights, and they dictate what happens with the company.
That's a key point.
So let's keep the money local in the community.
There you go. And local is Annunciation Radio. That's artoledo.com. You can donate right there online. That's a great way to keep your money local.
Yeah, we got the donate button. Yeah. There you go. Subsidiary.
Subsidiary. Yeah, there you go. Love it. Love it. Love it. Thank you, Drew.
Blasick, always a great lesson in faith in finance. Have a great day today.
Hey, thank you.